of these particular barriers can get in the way, particularly about how you proceed, holding each other accountable. Some stuff that we talked about last time even in terms of practicing mutual accountability. And then also, what are we willing to unlearn so we can adjust? Since, you know, we're now dealing with a machine that's, is there a way to adjust to the current environment? And then finally, at the coalition level, which is the next slide, at the coalition level, there's 6 barriers that can get in your way. And that is, you didn't get the right people at the table, people don't trust one another, you know, you got communication issues, we don't know who's responsible for what and when, and then structures that get in the way of your ability to practice accountability. Now I've shown you, or Henry has shown you, 50 different barriers to collaborative efforts that can get in your way. Some of them are, I would suggest, they're not all equal in terms of their capacity to throw a wrench in things. But what we are going to ask you to think through this morning, right off the bat, when you go to your team in just a moment, we're going to give you a sheet that lists all of these 15. And I'm going to ask you, first of all, to do an individual assessment. You don't need to rank all 15. Just pick the top 3 that you think are in the way of whatever it is you're trying to get done. You know, if it's you know, helping with at-risk youth, or if it's this capital campaign that needs to get off the ground, or if it's, you know, securing pathway of hope, more part, whatever it is you're trying to get done in the context of our discussions. What are the 3 top barriers out of the 15? So do that individually first, and then team leader, I'm going to ask you to tally up and as a group consensus on the top 3, as everyone shares their top 3. Then we're going to give you a template that Angela has for Vanna here. Will did you know Pat Sajak has been doing that show for 40 years? Can you believe it? And Vanna's been doing it for how long? They're both in their 70s, which is kind of remarkable. I don't want to talk about that anymore. And besides, all right, boy, I'm just thinking about how much fun my wife will be having right now because frequently I'll have about 6 screens open. I won't finish a sentence, you know, and this thing finishes them for me. It just decides when to put a period. And, you know, and so all I need to do really to learn how to communicate better would be just read what I said. Never mind. Where are you going? I said, have you been released yet from this prison that you are in? Once you decide what your 3 most critical barriers that you want to address, and by the way, they may not be on the ground now, but you may be anticipating them to be there. I mean, I'm not going to be that strict, because you may not be that far along in the project, but either real or imagined barriers, and then come up with how you're going to address them. Those top 3 and ideas, and we're going to give you enough time because this is really critical, so that you don't stumble out of you're already out of the starting blocks, but so you can evaluate that, and then we'll get a report from you. Does that make sense, Andy? I mean, it should be, because it's been reinforced. You know, you think this is a mistake, but we actually planned this just to drive home our points to that. All right. Well, at your and then you'll get the article that I referenced with that. We'll hand that out to you later. There's no need to give it to you now. You've got the list of the barriers, and then you can take the article home and read it. Okay, got it? All right, go to it. Great. Thank you, Henry.